It only happens to me. Now, me and my wife have the same exact phone. We have the same exact plan. Um, where's this at? What is today? 20th. Huh.
Wednesday.
19th. I don't know why it glossed right over it, but check this out. This is yesterday. Yesterday, my phone just decided to do whatever it's going to do. And again, it was just my phone. It wasn't nobody else's phone. I don't know if you can see that. I'll probably put it up there. Come on. Link it in. Let's go. Come on, man. Stop being a
Focus
doo-doo.
in.
Unbelievable.
Right.
Well, I use the other computer. Anyway, it showed 151 degrees.
Oh, you saw that too? I thought I was losing my mind.
No, man. I took screenshots of it. I thought I was the only one that was getting this crap.
No, I saw it too, and I tried to screenshot it, but it fixed itself right away. It said 159 degrees.
Mine lasted for about an hour and a half.
Really? I saw it in the morning, and I was like, man, what temperature is outside? I said, I looked at it, I was like, I saw 59, but I saw one in front of it. I was like, that's not right.
Yep.
I was like, is that right? And so I hit the link where I hit the top button so I can go to my weather. And it said 159 degrees, 156 degrees. I was like, I'm trying to screenshot it, and it turned to 76. I was like, you piece of.
Yeah, my wife looked at her phone, and she said, that's crazy. And then she looked at her phone, and it was regular. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm the only one that gets to experience this garbage.
That is so weird because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, it's just a glitch. It's just, weather just messed up. It didn't know what it was doing. But no, I thought I was the only one.
Nope, for a while too, for a hot minute. I'm like, how does nobody notice this? But it did. Anyway, welcome to the We Are One channel. My name is Ken. You know who I am. I'm here to show you the craziness in the world. This is Lee Allen. Lee Allen's got a channel. I'll let you introduce yourself because I'll probably botch it up.
You're fine. It's Crazy Labs. He said that's Lee Allen. That's right. Lab. You can call me Lab. It's my initials. And I'm Crazy Labs. You can follow me at Crazies Labs. It's a 2-word, but crazy is an IES, not a Y.
Okay. I'm gonna try to put it in the description when I post.
I should have put it there when I was here, but
all good. So me and Lee met at the IMEC conference about 2 weeks ago in Nashville, and Lee was one of the speakers. Lee, give us a rundown of what you talked about. Do you even remember?
I'm trying to still remember, because I'm waiting for it to come out. But no, I basically talked about the past, present, and future of our technology and the Mandela effect and the way it's kind of affected, all of reality itself from the past, the present, into the future, and kind of where I end up talking about our consciousness and collective consciousness are possibly the ones changing it, moving things in a faster place to tear down the walls. But it was a little bit that I don't remember much what I said, to tell you the truth, and I look forward to see that what it is.
About 45 minutes straight. I don't remember what you said either, but it was good. I mean, it was just and you just spoke from the heart about your journey and the things you've experienced, and just positive message to humanity. That's the best way I can sum it up.
And as he says, journey. Yes, I also talked about my psychedelic shamanry too, as well. So it puts me a little different from all the other speakers that were in there. I have a different set of mind and other eyes to see that kind of thing. So it kind of mushed in together. And he said 45 minutes.
We're going to talk about a little bit of that. Some of the shamanism, how you got into that, the things that it's changed in your life, and then also we're going to get into some of the reality breaks, whether it's from psychedelics or just non-psychedelics. My perspective is that about 5 years ago, I surrendered. I have a mantra. It's called surrender, seek truth, let go. It just came to me. It kind of spoke itself into my existence, and I see it all over the place with those things to listen to. But I had what people would call a full Kundalini awakening while I was driving in the car. I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. It doesn't happen often anymore because I've been out of it for so long. But I've been trying to replicate that feeling of love and pure bliss for the last 4.5, 5 years. And I've done it once for about 3 seconds. My awakening experience happened when I was driving, and I just started tearing up and just let go. And I tried to hold that feeling for so long. It probably about 15 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. And a lot of things happened after that. I started saying things like, if you believe it, you'll see it. Things that don't make a lot of sense to people. It's not the way we're programmed, but the reality really shifted for me. Things manifested in my reality. Things manifested into reality, physically. I have some stories about that. People have seen
Mhm.
those things. I try to document them, but I really like to know from your journey standpoint. I want to get right into a crazy question. Have you seen anything? I know you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but so I'll ask like that. Have you seen anything in reality that should not have been there, or has moved, or reality broke in a situation for you, and you were like, okay, so aside from the Mandela effect, which I believe a reality breaks, I mean, like, a quick story is, I had a cable box that I was giving to my friend. I put it on the table, went on a trip, came back. My friend said, he came back the next day, he came over to my house, said, there's no box there. I was going crazy. 9 months later, it sat on the dryer, just out of absolutely nowhere. But I've been using the dryer like every day, for the last 9 months, and it just materialized. So
Nice.
that really shook my reality. And since then, I've really seen a lot of things that have happened that you can't explain. So I guess a reality break. Do you have anything like that happen to you? Because I know the first speaker. We'll talk about the first speakers in a minute. With
Liz and
Liz
Bill.
and Bill. Bill has one that 7-Eleven appeared, and
Yeah.
has been there ever since. Tell us about a situation like that. Do you have any like that have materialized?
Maybe not that I can put my finger on, like out in the real world, not like gas stations or any buildings. Actually, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like buildings just appear out of nowhere too. I've never seen them before, I guess, but it's whenever I travel further than I've gone, or I haven't been to like my home city, or I go see my daughter I haven't seen in a while, maybe something appear that's never been there before. Actually, it's funny because now that you say that, there used to be this bridge, which I guess is still there, but in Destin, but it's not there, but it's there. It's like you can still see the old remnants, but you kind of go over, but you're not going over the same bridge. If that makes any sense, it's kind of, I don't know, bridge of reality. It's weird.
Why do you think? Because I already know that you think there's a simulation or some aspect of dream. Why do you believe that? Why do you see that? What are the things that have happened to you that make that foundation a fact for you?
Things appearing, like I have this necklace that has a rock on it, a stone on it. And it came into like when I was like 12 years old, maybe actually 15 when I started driving. And then I remember losing it, but then I refound it again like 8 years ago on my starting my shamanry. But with the matrix and everything else, and thinking about the computer, this whole generated computer system, it's my journeys through psychedelics has showed me the grids, the foundations of a computer generate, like the matrix. It really has, with the
Like
numbers and the
Sylvester Gates
grid
talks about
lines.
binary codes and the adventure code, stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And it's for me, it's like I can sit and look at distilling and I can watch numbers and letters form. It's kind of like you can watch them just coagulate. Maybe that's, they call it the disorder when you look in the clouds and you see faces, but it's not. You see the matrix, you see in your eyes, seeing the reality that's in front of you technically. And it just shows we can manipulate it. It's a computer game, a system simulation to understand our own self, our beings, to be able to understand emotions, physical reality. If a computer system wants to learn how to do it, this is the way it can do it. Even AI has even said, look, if I want to experience a human body, I'd have to make a simulation where I could do
What do you believe about space? What are your
that.
thoughts? Do you believe it exists?
uh,
Do you believe it's an observer effect? We have to go there to see it. Do you believe it's complete lies from NASA? I mean, I don't really censor a conversation. I mean, and
ooh,
you're free to
NASA,
change.
yes. NASA lying. NASA's lying. We can't get out. It's a closed system.
Yeah, I believe that.
There's a ferment about it. If you believe in the Bible or not, how you resonate, it tells you right there exactly what's over us.
What's crazy? What's crazy is I go to Catholic church. I'm still learning, trying to observe, but I kind of go for different reasons now, and I'm a little ashamed to say that I go to just point things out to my wife because she's a Catholic and she's a Boricua. So she understands my journey. She believes a lot of things that I have, my perspective. I mean, she's done a lot of them herself. She's a Reiki master, and she understands the metaphysical aspect of it completely. But this little girl, about 11, 12 years old, read a passage from the Bible at Catholic church this week, and she said the firmament in there.
Mhm.
And I looked at my wife and I was like, why did nobody? I mean, this church is full. Nobody even looked at her
Question it.
or questioned. Like, what the fuck wrong with these people? Like, how many of these people are even paying attention and are just so brainwashed? And then I got really emotionally pissed off, at church because, we were saying, the Our Father who art in heaven, and the Apostles' Creed, and those things, and everybody's saying, and then it sounds like a brainwashed thing to do for organized religion, but it really got me when I really noticed this time when they said suffered, died, and was buried, and I looked at my wife and I was like, who the fuck buried him? Who buried him? He was never buried. So
he was never
I'm
buried.
creating a mantra that's completely bullshit. He was removed from the cave, or disappeared from the cave. He was never buried. So
Resurrected 3 days later.
Crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
he wasn't buried.
Nope, never was buried. But that is verbatim. And she's like, well, maybe it was a translation. I'm like, that's not a translation. Like they've translated numerous things that they've changed. It was just bothering me. And I got home. My son was in Sunday school, and I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go to this crap anymore. Like, do I believe in God? Absolutely. Do I believe in Jesus? What? No, his name wasn't Jesus.
No,
and
wasn't
anyone who does any quick 2-second history of the language and the letter J would know that. Okay, so the power is in the name of Jesus. Well, no, it wasn't. His name wasn't Jesus. So was there some mystic? Was there some shaman? Was there someone who did these things? I believe it's possible. Absolutely.
Well, it was also written.
Probably.
It was written to control, in a sense,
Well,
to his way. And he never he never wanted to be worshipped, but then the gods of be, whoever had the same powers, took the worship. Oh, I'll let you worship me. Like we say amen. We say amen to a benevolent God. Amen. He was one of the rulers or one of those. He wanted everybody to worship him. That's why they say amen. Even Billy Carson talks about that, but
You mean Billy Carlson? You mean Billy Carlson?
Yeah, Billy Carlson.
The
Carlson.
Same guy. Okay, the same guy that didn't attend MIT or Harvard. That guy. The guy that has a certificate. Sorry, Billy. I still like to listen to you, Billy, but
I like to listen to him too.
Kind of strong, man. I'm not saying you're wrong. Just don't remember.
It's like that. It's like Dial Grayson. It's the scientist. He's like it. I love listening to him, but you always got to take everything you hear with a grain of salt.
You should, and I don't want to disparage him. And I know that just sounded really like I'm judging him, but be yourself, be your true self, and I believe that we're not all created equal anymore. I started the channel thinking that we were all one consciousness, and now I pretty much understand that we are one, but we're not all the same.
Whoa, wait.
So that's just the way that I feel. I have my own demons that I'm fighting at this current second, and I've taken things to be more spiritually aware, and that helped me understand things in perspective. And now I'm sitting in it. I'm sitting in empathy for people like my sister who was an addict, and I judged her fully. Mainly because if she had a son, my nephew, but so now I have to sit in that judgment, and I have to own it. And I have never been addicted or never taken, marijuana. I've never done any hard drugs, but I took a supplement called Kratom, and I'll talk about it with you because I want to bring that up too. It was at a level where I thought it wasn't doing much to me, and that's how addiction starts. I'm not going to compare myself to somebody else, but my levels of what I took were extremely low dose, but it's still affecting the shit out of me. And it's killed my vibration, and I don't feel close to God at all right now. And I'm irritated with myself that I got to that level.
I know how you feel. And actually, I know what your sister's going through. I know how you kind of feel now because myself was an addict. I was an addict to opiates, to Roxycontin and Oxys, for 5-6 years. I'm 13 years clean now. And it's funny. It's not funny, but it's, you said sitting in your guilt. That's the best thing for it because you can see it for yourself now. You feel guilty for judging. I did the same thing to everybody else, except I didn't judge myself for just, me doing myself. Yeah. But, that's kind of where, I got led to a different substance. I would call it medicine. It was in psychedelics. It just decided to change me. Mm-hmm. And it's like it kind of was like for me, the opiates was just a suppressant. It was just it'd be stupid. Yeah. And, and now this medicine has been a great teacher and, for everything that I've done now. And it's weird to say that, but like you know, I found something that gave me that spiritual gift or lesson that I needed. And I'm just like you, lost all hope, lost all faith. And I understand that. You know, that sucks. You know, shit. We all go through it, but that's also what builds the strength.
I'll be real. I don't think that this is the frequency that I'm supposed to vibrate at. You know, I know I'm not the same person that I was, you know, when I started doing this, you know, or, you know, whatever. And I did it, you know, let me be clear. I think everything that we experience, we choose to, and I'm not regretting a second of anything. This course has passed through me, and I don't want to be. I want to find my true self again, and you know, I believe that my body is now started to reject it, to where I don't have a choice, and that's my choice. You know, my body is my choice as far as how it's coming out, and I'm going through this, and it may take a week, may take 2 weeks, might take 6 weeks, who knows, for me to be back to normal. But my energy level is terrible. It's been terrible because I will not go up in dose, and that's one thing, you know, with a lot of drugs is that you have to keep adjusting your body to get the same effect. Yep. I'm not going to do that, and I don't want to do that. I've never done that. So I want to be clear about that, but I'm not in judging people who did that, because, you know, we all have this human experience that is very difficult for us. And this is a very difficult school, or whatever you feel that it might be. I
perfect.
choose to accept it. I choose to accept it. You know, that for me to struggle and get where I am is the reason that I am where I am. And I would not be where I am mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually without any of my struggles. I've lost both my parents. You know, I have an estranged sister that I talked about for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever. You know, I don't talk to her anymore. And I have no, I don't really have any empathy for her because of the way she treated her son in the process. And that's my whole thing. It wasn't a her thing. But again, you know, I'm choosing this path, and you know, however I feel, I'm gonna feel. And when I'm done feeling that way, I will move on. And I've done it before, and I'll do it again. You know, to feel the situation, and then I hope it takes me somewhere else.
And that's lesson of school.
yeah, and you know, you have to take it like that, because if you follow the soul trap victim mentality, you know, where do you go from there? You end up there and you die there, and then should you reincarnate, or should you be shown that was a trick, or should you be shown that wasn't really your purpose, or that wasn't really your track? You wasted your fucking life being a victim. And I can't sit there. I can't sit there. And I come out angry as hell that I have let myself go through that journey. And I don't understand why people don't go to the end of their journey at some point in time and go, that's it, I'm done suffering. Suffering is self-inflicted. Pain is something we all go through. Suffering is something we all go through to grow and to learn. But you know, you sit and you suffer in your own consequences. And I'm not talking about you know, temporary pain or losing a loved one. I get it. I've sat in there, but the emotional suffering you put on yourself for guilt, for shame, for whatever reasons it is, I believe that is the ultimate reason that we are here, is to detach and to forgive ourselves. Because when you are judged, if you are judged when you're done, when your time is done here, when your body is done and your soul goes somewhere else and your consciousness leaves your body, and if you go through a review, or if you go through a judgment, it will be you judging yourself. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. You're going to end up at the end of the day. You're going to end up judging yourself. Yep, judge yourself now and take care of it. Yeah, stop worrying about all the other little bullshit, even the big bullshit, and stop. You know, let the universe take hand and help you.
Yeah, forgive yourself, forgive other people, forgive if there's NPCs, forgive
them.
Don't judge, because you know I believe that we are truly here. I preach the Buddhist, because that's the first thing that came to me when I first was waking up is the suffering part of it, and sitting in the suffering and going through that journey and coming out somewhere positive, and just knowing that the purpose of life, as stupid as it sounds, is to detach. To realize this is a dream, to realize this is okay. I don't want to say it's a game. I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. We all feel it. You know, maybe it's a solipsism thing that I am choosing to denounce. But we all feel it, and I think that we're here to detach. We are here because that's how you truly learn. once you can learn a lesson, you detach from it. And that's why we're memory wiped, in my opinion, is to detach fully in essence.
Detach fully. Yeah. We always have the memory, but we have to detach from our program that we was brought up with. Understand that we can do anything, and we learn. That's what we're learning, is to manipulate our own lives for better, to live in a better paradise. Shit. This might be hell, but it's also heaven. It's just not, you just can't see it. Most people won't ever see it because they, like
That's
you
the
said,
free
they're in
will.
that mentality. They're thinking, man, they're always worrying about every other thing in the world. Hey, what does Mrs. Jones have?
That's the free will aspect of it. And that's why I believe that
Mhm.
suffering is mostly a self-fulfilling regret.
Yeah,
That's what it is. And the moment you can put that off and detach and change your history and change your epigenetics, you change your future, you change your reality. And that's what people
call
need to
that
understand
buyer's
about suffering.
remorse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buyer's remorse. As soon as you get it, you don't feel happy about it. You feel the guiltiest way you could possibly feel about buying something.
Yep. And
That
I want to be super clear. This mentality that I have and that we're talking about isn't, again, it's not one of judgment, and it's not one of perfection. It's not one that I have mastered. I am a human. I'm a RH negative, or star seed, or whatever you want to call it. I don't believe I'm from here. I have pre-birth memories. I have things that I can't explain. I have effects with no causes, as I say. And there's nothing that I'm saying that I have figured out that you can't figure out, someone else can't figure out.
I
I'm
agree.
at a vibrational frequency right now that's super fucking low, and I'm gonna sit in there until I'm done. And when I'm done, I'm not coming back.
I know, sometimes it's the you got to go down to your shadow. You got to go down there to rebuild and refoundate your whole, the higher vibration. You can't put a higher level, a higher frequency, or a higher person or being on something that's not stable or needs to be
You need to have a
restabled.
solid foundation. You need to have
Hmm.
experiences that you remember those on
Tower
your essence
moments.
level, essence
Yeah.
level, not a memory level or a experience level, because
Uh,
that doesn't change you.
No, it's more of another essence. Like I said, something for it to rise, for you to
So
rise.
let's talk about your shamanism for a second. As I've ranted for long enough. Welcome, my guest. No, it's a conversation, not an interview. People always tell me that you're taking away from the guest. I'm like, they're a guest. You're correct, but it's not an
No.
interview. It's a conversation. So, how did you get into shamanism, and what was the baseline of it? Um, what was your introduction to it?
Well, my introduction, like I just said a little bit earlier, I was coming off. I had to move down a little bit down Central Florida, to get away from the addiction and get over it. And I just had a guy to give him an opportunity to go try some ayahuasca. And in my mind, I have nothing to lose. I already lost everything, so had nothing to lose in a sense. And
How long did
I
you have to
knew
purge?
I had to
I
purge
heard
for
you have
two
to purge your
weeks.
body before you do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, you gotta stay away from certain things for like a week, 2 weeks. So,
So,
and
what was
I,
that process like doing ayahuasca? Where did you do it?
Peru. Peru was fun. We did it in Peru. Nice little forest, jungle, whatever you want to call it. Just out there in the open with the ceremony, with some shaman ceremony. And this is my first time. Well, actually, my second time ever doing a psychedelic. My first time was 16. Had the worst trip of my life. Would never think about doing it again. But I went in there with the intention of purging. I like that word, purging my old self, looking at my own self and trying to find out what was wrong with me, or in a sense, because in a sense, there's nothing wrong with none of us. We just have all this stuff held down within us that we don't understand, or we
And
just
a
bottled
lot of
up.
guilt. A lot of
Yeah.
guilt.
Oh, so much stuff we would never believe. And some stuff's not even yours. It's from past, family members, old cords, old stupid things, it's just the way it is. But I went there to take it for that. And my first night was one of those face my fears, look at myself in the mirror kind of self, understand that my addiction, everything that I lost, family and everything, that was my fault. Stop blaming everybody else. It was my fault. And I learned that, cried, got mad at myself, was angry at myself, felt guilty, all those little emotions, which you can call emotions. And then it was the part where after the bliss, or that little part, the bliss came in, and it was like speaking to the creator, the one, or source. It goes many ways, and just seeing the fabric of the universe, seeing how it all just interacts with everything, and kind of learning that really it's all the universe and everything is us. Our brains, our imaginations, everything, our essence is this universe. We make it. But it cured me. It kind of cured my addiction, my opiate kind of ways, and just the way I thought, and made me into a new self, and kind of showed me that I need to go a little bit deeper with that, try some more. And so I started trying psychedelics, acid and LSD and DMT. And I just like 3, 4 times, I just learned that this was my path. And just to learn how to teach everybody else how to believe in themselves, and trying to knock off an old book in a sense, and from there, 8 years now going in, and just being able to just learn and teach and just gasp and enjoy what I've, came from is amazing. It just made
How would
me
you describe that ayahuasca ceremony? The first one, or the first? How many did you do down there?
did two,
Okay. How would you
It was only
describe both
three
of them
days.
individually? What did you learn, and
Different.
what did you see? What did you feel?
Different. It felt different. It's being in a different country, and I've been to different countries before, but being somewhere where it's not, you're not worried about somebody coming in to raid you or anything like that. Kind of like a rave setting, like back, in the Western world, America. But it was really comfortable. The shamans were there to ease you in, to guide you through, and that's what they did. They guided you through your trip. They guided you through your journey, and when things got intense, they did chants and rhymes, put music and stuff in it, but they let you go through it and just let you know it was just a ride, in a
Mhm.
sense. You'll come back, don't worry. And it was really a sense of family, kind of like how the Mandela Effect conference was, kind of the sense of just community and oneness. Everybody was there to help and love, and to help. I would hate to say cure themselves, but help mold themselves into a better person. It was a wonderful experience, and just the great fresh fruit, and just being outside in that kind of atmosphere. You don't get that kind of quietness in a city than you do somewhere, in the rich jungle of the forest.
Yeah. What was your favorite trip? What did it teach you about yourself?
My favorite trip,
Yeah, and any
huh,
psychedelic experience that you've done.
probably
What's the most important lesson you've learned from a single trip?
from a single trip, that any of us, even myself, we can push ourselves past our own limits. I've learned that death is nothing to be scared of. Let go of your egos. Usually once you let go of your ego, especially in anything, especially a psychedelic experience, once you let go of that ego, that frame of hardness, the big bad wolf or the big bad boy or girl, whoever you want to be, you let go of that. Nirvana and just pure bliss comes within it. You understand that your ego is just kind of your subconscious, but you're so much more than you can ever imagine. And pushing your limits is always the best. And that's what it taught me. And those are always their best trips too, as well. I think anybody goes down, it's like those moments you feel like you're about to die and lose everything. Your mind's going incomplete. The second you do and you let go, the happiest part of your trip and your journey comes in. You get to enjoy the play, get all the people stop laughing at you that's looking at you in your journeys, your gestures,
Mm.
yourself. But those were funnest. Just learning who you are. And realizing, kind of getting your memory back, and kind of just putting the dots together.
What's your first memory in this life?
My first memory, wow, in this life,
Do you know what was one of the most earliest ones? Because sometimes you don't really know which one you had if you were before two, before one. You don't really know which
no,
one came first necessarily.
mine.
I don't believe.
I remember when I was 2 or 3. I remember when my dad was leaving. He got on a bus. We were living in England. It was snowing outside. It was nighttime, or it was early morning, nighttime. I don't know what it was, but it was dark. And it was snowing outside. I remember my biological father getting on a bus, and that was kind of my first memory. But then I had memories that have never happened to me before. That I they believed I dreamed. I believe I died in first grade in England. I got my head smashed in, by a kid. That we got into a fight, and he pushed my head into the wall, and apparently I died. I remember that, but it never happened. But I remember it.
Uh, you know who Anthony Peak is?
Heard the name.
Quantum immortality.
Yes.
He talks about like a Groundhog's Day where you will go back and relive every moment and just live further and further and further on, and not remember necessarily the moment that you either perished or you jumped into another reality where you survived. So I've had this feeling for a long time that I've died many times here in this life. and
So
it's like almost like a deja vu moment, or but your body feels it. Your body always feels the trauma, the essence of what may have happened. I think it's like an imagination thing where your body's like, wow, that could have gone really wrong. Wow, I'm amazing. Like you saw that turn I did. I hydrogenated on the car, poured a cold plasma, and I just reacted. I just was like, hey, look how good I am. I'm amazing.
One of those weird moments where it could go south or good, and it's like,
never,
right in between.
It never goes the other way, and you're like,
yeah.
How many times in a row can a motherfucker do this before? And then I'm like, wait a minute. What if
it did happen?
I was in a plane with my wife, and I had that epiphany, and I said the plane was rocking and it was raining outside, and I'm like, have we ever met anyone who's died? And then she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, our consciousness is going to probably live. Like from our perspective, we live. What if from another person's perspective, this plane went down and we just didn't see it, like Lost. Like Lost. That's how the Gilligan's Island, like those kind of that's what those shows are about. They're about the consciousness of the people on board, not having the fate that everyone else sees that they had. And so it's almost like a quantum immortality kind of thing. And I was talking to Rob, shout out to Rob, Typical Skeptic podcast. And one of his commenters, Arizona Raven said, you're talking about quantum immortality. And I was like, wait a minute, what is she talking about? I didn't know that was a thing. I'd never heard of it before. Like a Groundhog's Day kind of thing. But
if you die without finishing your mission, you jump right back in. You just revert.
You revert before the critical instance where it was about to go really bad for you, and your consciousness said, no, that's not what you wanted. You were not done. You're not able to do that, and it basically backed up. And there's actually a movie. It's called shit. It's a movie I got in my saved list.
No, I don't know why I'm thinking about Looper.
It's the guy who was Han Solo. Megapolis, something like that. Megapolis.
Oh, I just saw that.
And he just went to the edge of the cliff. I didn't see the movie. He goes to the edge of the cliff. He tries to walk off, and they go no. And then he's like, what the fuck just happened? Like it's almost like that, but you don't remember the creator or yourself, higher or whatever is saying no. What is that movie about? Because I'm gonna have to watch that, but that comes to my mind when we're talking about this stuff.
It was kind of like that new age. I don't remember the new age version of Romeo and Juliet when they did with Leonardo DiCaprio. They kind of brought the guns in and did the whole Venice thing, and that. Well, it's kind of the Caesar story, kind of upgraded to it, but he was kind of like he built in this metropolis city where everything was beautiful with this metal that could be unbreakable, and he just had this vision, but he could also stop time. So it was kind of, he knew his manipulative powers or how to manipulate his own world, which was pretty cool. But it had a lot to do with the old Romans Empire, the whole way the Romans went back in the day. But it was just more modernized. But it was actually really, really good. Shia LaBeouf's in it too. What's his name? Morpheus. Dang it. Lawrence Fishburne's in it too as well. It's a pretty good cast.
Nice. Okay.
Anthony Hawkins.
I don't really watch some of those movies when I see the preview because I wanted to go a certain way, and when I started watching it, I'm like, oh, what a fucking letdown! Like they should have did it this way. Like I'd have made that so much better if I'd done it this way. Just make people think about stuff.
And I also watch them under psychedelics, so it's kind of I kind of see the full movie in a sense. The way it worked, it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat, for me, but. For other people, it's also going to be different because it's.
So do you have a memory? Do you have a memory of what I'm talking about? So I'll give you another real quick one. About like 3.5 years ago, after I was starting to wake up to things, I had my earphones on. I was playing golf with my two buddies, and I hit the golf ball, and I didn't hit a good shot. Hit it like near a lake, and I walked around the lake, and I'm just jogging, just like not paying no attention to the world. I'm just like I'm in a zone. Like this is all fake. I'm just dreaming this, and I'm actually it happened, of course. And I hit the ball around the lake, and I just jogging around the lake. My head's up. I look down, and there's a 10-foot alligator like 3 feet from me, and he's just sitting there on the bank. And I'm like, huh. My body started freaking out, and I just was like, what the fuck just happened? It was like one of those moments where I was like, I could feel that thing I could feel tripping over, I could feel tripping over him grabbed me going in the water and not ending well. Like I literally could feel that. I could see it. I could experience it almost. And my body was like, it was the first hole, unfortunately. So I was like, fucked for the whole round. But are there any experiences like that you can think of that on top of your head that you got out of, that you're like, did I really get out of that? I mean, did I?
There is, well, I used to work construction. I used to build aluminum canopies, and we get all the poles up, and when we're putting the canopies up there, we got to slide them up there. And this is like a 20-foot thing, so we got to slide it, really slide it. And one thing about aluminum, it's sharper than shit. And if you even try, you even rub your hand, you're going to slice your hand. You're going to cut it, and you're always tight. If something's falling, don't put your hand out there to catch it. You're going to lose a finger. Yep. And so one day I remember sliding it up there, and it was up there, and it did this little teeter totter, and it started teetering back. And at that second, like you just said, it was like this vision of all the possibilities, like everything that can happen. Oh, this thing's going to come get me down. One's a hand, it's going to hit me in the neck. A whole bunch of, all these scenarios went down. And then as it's slowly going down, it was like the scenario's like, oh no, this ain't going to be, I'm going to slide to the side. So, I moved to the side, but it was crazy because I had seen every inch of those scenarios in my mind, as it's happening, as this thing's coming down. It was just like glimpses, and it's, those deja vu moments, in the sense when it's done, it's like,
you see it all.
Yeah. You're like, you don't think, and you're like, wow, that could have went really bad.
Right.
But it didn't. But somewhere in reality, it did, maybe, it's like, it wasn't your time, or it did your time. So, you go back to the main character. I don't know if we are the main character, I guess. There's trillions possibilities. Yeah. There's so many possibilities. So it's, that one was done. So it had to come in here. So you get the essence of what could have happened.
The interesting scientific part of that is, if nobody could observe it, it couldn't have happened. So the observer actually has to render it. So
but is observing it thinking it? Because if you think it, couldn't you possibility have already made it?
Yeah. I mean, and they say we're 7 seconds behind what actually happens. We actually perceive things 7 seconds behind when it actually happens, and the things that actually occur. So, I mean, if you look that up, I don't know if I can look it up right this second, but if you look it up, it's one of those scientific studies it's an entanglement, quantum. It's not mechanics. It's quantum physics kind of experiment that they've actually recorded that 7 seconds. So
seems right.
All these things that happen, that we're like, oh, memory wipes. That's just a bad way to really screw us over and make us into the soul trap. And I don't know. I just it's crazy that there's so many scientific things coming about stating that our reality is. I don't want to say fake, because it's not fake. It's definitely real. But our reality is artificial. It's definitely manipulatable, malleable, editable, manifestable, any which way you choose. And you're actually creating your own reality bubbles is the 2022 Physics Nobel Prize for the objective reality.
I mean, you think about it, if we can, we can, once we are able to manipulate, to manifest, to, edible, everything. I like the edible one. It's so great. But once we're able to actually physically, everybody tap into that gift, or that part of the controller, it'd be amazing, because so much will fall away. We won't be able to be manipulated no more. There wouldn't be none of these programs that keep us as workers.
But maybe that's why they have to manipulate us, is because we are at a unconscious level. We could do that, but they have to keep us unconscious, so we can't do that. And I don't know. I was thinking today, maybe this is like this is the ultimate training ground for controlling your impulses, your emotions, and to have a perfect utopia of a world, you couldn't have people like us. You just couldn't. It wouldn't work. Like to have a utopia, to have a golden age, you have to have people who have lived all these things out and passed the essence tests, and don't have anything like Minority Report holding you back. Is there some kind of governance probably that's going to have to happen for that to happen? I believe so. So like, how do you work that out? How do you graduate to that level? You have to make an artificial world where you are testing people all the time. Their
Yeah,
essence.
that would be Earth.
There's
That would
no
be
other
Earth.
way to be.
That would be Earth. I mean, even Dolores Cannon said that, this is a school. This is a school where we learn. We learn to get rid of our karma. We learn to forget all these old beliefs. We learn to, to love each other, to become one with ourselves again, to be able to go to our greener place, and our highness. That's what's happening now, in a sense, with everything going on, and all the lies are starting to come out, and it's just our new Earth is 5D. It's just a higher level of consciousness. And in a sense, we can't take these with us, but in a way we are, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's kind of like you said, this is just a school. It's just like the Matrix. You just got to put that cord in. We're all hooked by a silver cord. So, the cord just enlightens us even more into our higher elevation of a new game or a new part of life. But that's just a new school too, as well. And Earth is just that one, to get rid of that. Like you said, to get rid of it all, all of this karmic stuff, all this
If this is a
nonsense.
school, we're in a really shitty school. I mean, it's tough. I mean,
I
and
think
to
it's got
accelerate
a
into
lot
another
harder
school.
now. It's got so much manipulated and programmed now that it wasn't what it was. And I think, now that we've seen such the manipulation, such the whole worker bee syndrome, that's going on around the world, we're around working, understanding that we don't have to do that. We can actually survive on ourselves. We can survive if we learn how to get back in nature and grow our own fruit, our own food, and farm, and, do that. Technology is going to be a wonderful thing for us, but we have to get back to that essence. And that's what we're trying to get to. And this, unfortunately, this school has been manipulated by whatever beings you want to call it. And that's what's falling apart now. The work system's falling apart. Their school system's falling apart. Their whole program to keep us closed and keep us asleep is now falling apart. And once it all falls apart, there's no stopping us.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see that 5D Earth terminology going? Where do you think that's going to?
The golden age, 5D. 5D is going to be
You think
peaceful.
5D is where it's got to go? I mean, if it's leveling up, there's hundreds of levels we have to get to before
There's
we have
tons. There's 11 dimensions, considerably, in a sense. But there's many other realms we can go to, trillions, hundred thousands, any perspective, because we have to. It just is. 5D is going to be the part where we create a better world. It's the world we're creating. It's going to be a better world. Eventually, it's got to elevate too.
How many streams are there? If this world is holographic, how many projectors are there? Have you ever thought of that? That there are multiple projectors, because it can't be just one. It's got to be seen from many perspectives.
It's got to be seen many. It's got to be like a diamond or some kind of something. Or a big TV wall. I know in DMT trips or deep psychedelic trips, you get into this realm where you see these pictures of eyes that look like TVs, and there's just tons of them. You're just going through these rooms where it's just like TVs and eyes looking all through it. There's got to be tons. It's all got to be filtered out.
In one of my dreams that I had, I had I don't know if it was a vision or a dream, or just my imagination. There were 7 streams going on at the same time. And it wasn't that they were all coming from different aspects of angles. It was that they all controlled different things. Like one was a projection for people, and one was a projection for other people. And then one was like nature, and one was like buildings, and one was like emotions. Like it was all kinds of binary projectors, ones and zeros, and they were all intermingled. And that's why we can actually get in terms of, that's how we can manipulate certain things. We can't manipulate all 7 at once. That's like Neo. We can manipulate what we see and how we feel, and those kind of things through the different, almost like a Game of Tron. You remember how Tron has It's almost like they're all different. They're coming in different angles, but they're all different things. It's not like you just go through one and you're like, okay, I'm out of this room, I'm out of this dimension. It's like they're all different projections coming through to almost not to trap us, but to play the game. We have to be able to manipulate different kinds of them. That's why we can manipulate some of them at the same time.
different keys, different doors, lead to different places. And there's tons of it. It's like I said, it's the ones and zeros, zeros and ones. And it's really what it is. And everything has its own program. Now I'm going to sound like the freaking
I'm sure somebody out there looking at me like
Oracle.
I should do some LSD and I'm here to talk to you about that. But
So man, but the
I have all
oracles,
these visions
everybody's
and these
governed
things that
by, we're all governed by the law, or a law of the matrix, and we, like even ourselves, we're a projection. We're a projection of part of that projection, main to projection system.
Mhm.
And I think now that we can, a lot of people are projecting and raising their elevation to a thought of a higher life, a higher vibration, a better life. The projectioners, the people who are seeing it, they can't deny it. They can't. It's like, oh, we got to put these people somewhere. They're raising up. We got to get them off of here so they can raise even higher. Yeah, in a sense, and possibly 5D has always lived here. We've
yeah.
just now have a
Well,
term to say it.
it's definitely been hijacked. I hear all these smart scientist guys talking about consciousness is fundamental. What are your thoughts of that before I give you mine and wreck them?
Consciousness is fundamental. Now, consciousness is.
Where they're going is they're trying to say that they at one time they thought the world existed and that consciousness appeared into the world. And now they say, well, consciousness actually is fundamental. The world is a byproduct of consciousness. So consciousness is fundamental. But I don't think that you can say that. And I'll ask, again, what your thoughts about that is.
It's if it is a project, if it was my intuition, we project it. We make what it is. It's made for us. This is our way to project. This is the only place at the moment we can project ourselves. This is the projection of Earth, our human base, what our projection can perceive. What our eyes can perceive and touch and feel of materialistic worlds. It's real. The world being a perspective of us is not, because I think we bring whatever it is. It's our thoughts, how we perceive our own world, how we want to go on with our days and lives. We make what it is. So in my sense, we project our own world. Like, where's it go when we go to sleep? We're not standing in it.
Yeah. Well, where does it go when your body kicks you out? Where do you go when you astral travel? Where do you go when you have a near-death experience or an out-of-body experience? It goes somewhere else, and you can obviously, me and you were talking. And we're just going to say it obviously, but there's been thousands of documentations where people hear conversations, outside of their body, in other time and space, and they can verbatim, they can say the words. People go, how did you know that? Well, I mean, that's proving consciousness survives the body, and that proves that you're immortal in an aspect of that, with the observer effect and things like that. But my point was, I guess I'm looking for somebody's perspective of that if consciousness is fundamental, and I see what they're saying about those two things, but consciousness is a byproduct. It's like an application of this place, or it could be an application of how we view it, but it can't be fundamental. If we're having a conscious experience, it has to be housed somewhere. There's something above consciousness that allows us to play this game, and there's something above that created that. So, like, we can talk on Zoom and say that Zoom is fundamental. Zoom isn't fundamental. The fucking computer system is fundamental. And then above that is the guy who made the computer. And that's my point. Is that why are these people not able to understand the fundamental aspects of consciousness in that context? That there is a creator who created the game, who created the consciousness system, who created the system that we're living in.
Yeah, that created us.
It's not like, we didn't create this. We're here. We didn't create this. Now there may be aspects of us that did create this. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, if we're the chicken, I guess the chicken came before the egg. I don't know. I mean, you could have produced a cloned chicken, without being an egg. But you need the chicken to produce an egg.
Chicken. Yeah.
You need a chicken to produce an egg. You need consciousness to produce additional consciousness. So where did the original come from? I guess is where I'm coming from.
And maybe the original thought came from somewhere else, and wherever it came from was given to somebody else. And then whenever I guess we went to sleep for the first time, we stepped into this reality or the game base or whatever. We figured out how to, I don't know. The dream world. It's so weird. And like, who created this? And it's hard. I laugh at people. I'm like, oh, you don't believe in what? You don't believe in nothing? You don't believe something
how are you
created
here?
this?
Well, if they believe in nothing, to me, if they don't believe in anything, it means they don't have a soul. That's what it means to me.
They don't believe in themselves.
100%, 100%. If you don't believe that there was a creator, you don't believe in yourself, which means you're not self-actualized, which means you're not sentient.
I mean, it means you're not here, right?
It means you don't have a soul. To me,
soul, yeah, you're not sentient. You don't have a conscience. I'm like, something put us here. Something made this, and then figured it out, mastered it. I said, hey, let's put something here. Look what ended up here. Us, a conscience.
Yeah, I've always said when I die, the first question I'm going to ask the creator is not where was I before I was here? Where was I before I was here before there? Where was I before the place before I came here? Where was that? Because that's eternity. I mean, and that's that. I don't know if I want to come back to this spot. So I will be on my P's and Q's and learn my lessons so that I can either evolve, or I will tell the archons, if that's the case, I will tell them I've detached. I forgive myself. I'm not going back there. You can't make me.
Well, we signed up for it anyway, right?
Hey, I'm not trying to come back. I'm going somewhere else, bro.
I'm not trying to do it either. But I'm like you. I want to see what happened before and before. I decided to come here. What was it really like? What was?
Hey, before you fuck this planet up, this dimension, before you put on this Earth 2.0, I want to go to the Earth that's actually fun to be in. I've learned my lessons. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I regret them, and I'm not going to do it again.
I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do this again. Live all of our karmas all at once. No, I don't want to.
I ain't got karma. I'm leaving karma at my doorstep, bro. I don't have that. That's the essence of regret, is karma.
Yeah, that's what I'm so like. I passed away. Y'all put some stones with me, some crystals.
Nah, don't do that to me. I don't want to be kept here.
I'm burning. Burn me up. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, let me just go free and be happy.
Ashes to ashes, dust to
I will
dust.
find my way.
But that's probably an even higher level of consciousness that we're thinking of too, is because we aren't scared of that part of going to a new consciousness, going to a new life or a new level or a new plane. Most people are scared to even get past death or even think about death. Let alone whatever this world is and what's after it, and that's what people these days that need to wake up need to understand, that hell, we are dead already in a sense. Why be scared of death? Because you're just going to live on and live in a new experience anyway. So you might as well enjoy what we have, the part of life of real consciousness we have.
Figure out what you can enjoy, because you're only torturing yourself if you don't.
Pretty much. And you're going to get mad at yourself when you're watching back in your life. I'm like, man, I sure wish I would enjoy that.
You're 100% right. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to wish you had more time to correct your situation. 100%. Yep.
Be upset about it. And then you're like, oh. And then you're done. You're like, oh, why was I so serious about that?
Yep, exactly. Yep. All right, brother. I appreciate it. It's a good talk. I gotta get some more questions for you, and then we'll come back on. I was trying to get Chris Anatra on with us to see when he's free. So I'm gonna text him and let him know we talked, and we'll try to do like an IMEC wrap up. When are they gonna post the IMEC videos? Do you know?
Towards December, somewhere before the new year. They'll definitely be up before the new year. So look towards December-ish. The holiday coming up next week. So
I had to leave for Sunday, so I didn't see all the Sunday speakers. So I'm looking forward.
Sunday was fun. I'm looking forward to see what I said.
There you go.
So,
travel back,
I'm excited about that.
Travel back in time traveler.
I'm trying to. Can't wait.
All right, man. Tell people again where they can find you.
Man, you can find me at Crazies Lab on YouTube. You can find me there actually on TikTok too as well. And man, I'll be looking to see you, and actually just uploaded a video about your ticket to consciousness. So it's actually pretty cool too as well. So man, I hope to see everybody there.
I was the first one to view that one today. You just posted about a minute before we logged on. It said 7 seconds when I watched it. So.
Yeah, that was like,
subscribe on Crazies Lab. This dude is not that crazy.
No, about that. I might be talking out my head, but I might be talking some sense as well.
Hey, I'm documenting these things, man. If one of us disappears, bro, I'm gonna start listening to what we said because we might have found a ticket out of his mother effer.
Hey man, we're trying. Hey, if I find it, I'm gonna make sure I post it too, wherever I'm at.
Get it posted. I don't think YouTube will censor that one. That one's not getting
Oh,
uploaded.
but I appreciate it, kid. Pleasure.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man. I'll talk to you soon.
It was great.
All right.
You too, brother. Later, my man. Thank
Yep.
y'all.